Save Mart 350 from the Infineon Raceway in Sonoma. It's brought to you by Sprint. NASCAR Nextel Cup fans get things done with Nextel by Pepsi Racing. Visit PepsiRacing.com and link to play Pepsi Fantasy Racing for free today. And by Gillette Fusion Power Phantom. Fusion Power is so advanced you barely feel the blades. Visit GilletteFusion.com to learn more. 64 laps are complete. Robbie Gordon has led 43 of them. He is the race leader now. Jamie McMurray runs second. Tony Stewart is third. Then Carl Edwards and Boris Said. Let's let these cars go past. Okay, Larry, really quick now.
Well, I don't want to underestimate anybody's ability to win this race, but I think with what we know, one more pit stop coming, I think it's Robbie Gordon's race to lose. But for Robbie, McMurray, Stewart, Edwards, Boris Said, all these guys, one more stop. Remember, you can't have a mistake. You can't speed. You got to have all those lug nuts on. And especially, Marty, you can't stall it leaving your pit box.
Exactly right, Larry Mack. And that's key because of these tall first gears. It's easy to stall the car here on pit road. One of the games right now in the second half of the strategy is how early can you make that last stop. Some of the cars down here talking lap 68, maybe even chancing it to lap 67, but that would be a big risk. Most of the pit stops should happen around lap 70 to 71, somewhere in that range for the final stop of the day.
If you come in earlier than lap 70, you're either really confident or you're going to get really lucky and get a number of caution laps.
I don't think confidence is going to get it done. Lucky might. Good race between Stewart and McMurray. Stewart's been slowly catching McMurray. I don't know how much Jamie will fight Stewart if Tony gets right to him.
He's just about there now.
I mean, there's no need. You're just logging laps right now until that pit stop on lap 70 or 71 like Marty was talking about.
Or 67 or 68.
If you feel confident.
Or lucky. Up on the curb. Riding along with Tony Stewart there for a moment. Trying to close the gap on McMurray. Report that Reed Sorenson is smoking.
He's got a lot of damage. He hit somebody or something.
Try to get it going if you can. Return left if you have to.
Talking to his spotter. Stay under green.
That's the last car right there.
Trying to get it refired.
Ooh. Just lost it coming off that corner, that right-hander down the hill and hit the curb. Looks like he was already loose when he hit the curb, which just made it worse.
And now the caution comes out. So Reed Sorenson brings out the full course yellow here in Sonoma. Robbie Gordon will get back his 1 second lead, and the field will tighten up once again. And this could really play into the fuel mileage factor. And that could be big today. Caution's out at Sonoma. Robbie Gordon, the race leader. Still under caution here in Sonoma. Robbie Gordon is the race leader behind that Toyota Pace truck. There are 42 cars on the lead lap. Dave Blaney is the lucky dog. Sterling Marlin out of the race with engine failure earlier in the day. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Who is the only driver to compete in every race this season that has not led a lap?
I don't know. Don't ask me these questions.
In every race this season that has not led a lap. Wow. Could be somebody we've been talking about today.
Juan Pablo.
Yeah. Come on, change it.
Wally,
yes.
You got to read the notes they send to you each week. They're not junk mail.
What are you talking about?
Juan Pablo Montoya is the answer.
There you go. Very good, Larry Mack. Our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. There's the duck. And there's our old buddy BP. Used to cue the duck for us. Got a good seat for the race today.
Are you telling me, Larry, that they send us the answers before we go to a race?
They send you information about the race.
So that means I still have to do some kind of homework.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I just look for slob when that question comes up, because I know he's holding the answer somewhere.
Now you got to explain that. That's our stat guy up here, Bill Sloboda. He looks like he's having a great day. I don't know. Look at these guys coming down pit road. This is about the window people were talking about. Snyder said 67, and by gosh, here they come. Lindsay.
And if you remember, Carl Edwards hasn't pitted since lap 28, so he will get 4 new tires, as we're told, and fuel. His crew chief is giving motivation, saying, guys, visualize, focus, do what you can do.
Marty McMurray here on pit road. I tell you guys, though, this is going to be very tight on making it on fuel from here to the end. There'll be 42 to go when they leave pit road, probably 40 when they get the green flag. That's a long way, Matt.
Boris said was basically following the car in front. Frankie Stoddard says, you are going to have to get me some laps if we stop here. And that's exactly what Boris is going to have to do, going fuel conservation mode, packing that fuel cell full of fuel. A little slow on exit, stalled it trying to get out, Ralphie.
Well, the 2 of Kurt Busch is in as well. They're going to make a chassis adjustment to that car as well. He's trying to fight his way back up after having the incident down in the final corner. Kurt Busch is underway.
And a lot of guys had trouble getting out of their pit stalls. There's Boris Said being pushed down pit road. Ron Fellows had to back up to get out of his stall.
Larry talked about it.
Keep it going. Clear high. 3,100.
You make a mistake right now, leaving the pits or in the pits could cost you.
And we saw a lot of these guys, what would you call it, lugging off of pit road, because it's so hard to get your car going.
Oh, man. 66 was probably told, that's Jeff Green, probably told he was clear when he left pit lane, and Johnny Sauter in the 70 car was coming in. Now, I'm sure the 66 got some serious issues on that right front, because he hit Johnny Sauter hard. And then you see Boris being pushed.
And Fellows trying to sneak out.
But these gears are very, very long. They're tall first gears, so you can use them in the corners on the racetrack. So when that happens, then you can't get out of the pit. So you give up a little on pit lane to make it up on the racetrack. But something like that happens sometimes.
And the 66.
And he does have issues, yeah, because I thought he hit him pretty hard.
He's also too fast exiting pit road, so just to add to his list of troubles. Frankie Stoddard, Boris Said's crew chief, one of the more excitable crew chiefs along pit road.
Obviously somebody was annoying him behind him.
Matt?
Now Frankie is shaking that off. Now he's just trying to compartmentalize it. He's basically telling Boris, look, I know you're sorry, because Boris keeps apologizing on the radio. Says, look, we've got to get the fuel mileage of our lives here. Shut it off and coast as much as possible. We know we're going to need to pick up a few laps here. Do all you can to help me out. Marty.
Well, Matt, just to give you an update on what the leaders are thinking in terms of fuel mileage, most all of them cannot make it all the way to the checkered flag. They're about 2.5 laps short. They will need some caution to make it from here to the end.
And it's going to be interesting to see how it works out for Robbie Gordon and Tony Stewart and some of these other guys up front. Tony Stewart was in 15th on lap 47 when we restarted, was running 4th. And then was faster than Robbie before the caution came out on lap 68.
All right, you know, I talked about somebody getting up there and putting some pressure as Jeff Green's car is finally caught on fire. I'm sure that tire is just going to come apart. Oof, that's looking pretty ugly right now.
Jeff, stop.
Must have knocked off the line or something there. But anyway, Tony Stewart is going to start giving some pressure to Robbie Gordon, and that's what's got to happen. And that's a lot of pressure right there.
Stewart stays in the gas.
And you know, Stewart made a great pass there. He was in position. And Robbie looks like he's had a little bit of trouble on the restart. His car doesn't start going until the second half of that lap after a restart. Stewart may have saw that, but he made a really nice pass. He jumped out there and he got in position to be in the right place on that right-hander. Rolls down in there. Robbie probably felt him more than he saw him, gave him a little bit of room, and here's where he paid it off.
And through turn 11, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to take second from Robbie Gordon. So Stewart to first, Jr. to second, Gordon slips to third. And it's Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson. J.J. Yaley runs sixth.
Now it'll be interesting to watch that 7-car Robbie Gordon and see if Robbie just maintains the nice, smooth pace that he's been running when he was in the lead.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be watching for that. Matt?
Bill, lap 73, that's when they are looking at hitting pit road for the 7. But before that last caution, when Robbie was out front and Big Orange was back in third, this was the conversation, the concern on the radio of the 7.
The guy we're racing is going to be the guy behind McMurray. That's who will be racing here.
I told you guys that 2 weeks ago to come down to him and Gordon, and no matter where they're at, they'll get there at the end. They always do.
Robbie thought he had a tire going down, but then one of his spotters on the track said, you've been dipping your left rear off in the dirt. Maybe that's the sensation that you're feeling, because he thought he had a soft tire on the left rear.
Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart have combined to win 14 of the last 19 road course races. This pit summary brought to you by NASCAR Hot Pass, only on DirecTV. Stewart now running first. Earnhardt Jr. second. Made those passes of Robbie Gordon on the track.
Jimmy Johnson right there in the 5th spot, right behind Ryan Newman. Newman's been up there all day running a good race.
And Johnson started 42nd. He and Jeff Gordon not allowed to practice or qualify on Friday after their cars failed inspection. Wow, some heavy braking there.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of smoke off that right front. What's happening is you're on the brakes, you're turning the car, and you're on at the same time. And what happens is that right front gets light. When you're turning the car, you're on the brakes, everything is on the left front. So when you get on the brakes, that right front being light, when it comes back down on the ground, it's stopped. So it slides across the racetrack. And you got to get off it right away, because sometimes it's very hard for that car to turn.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. heads for his pits. He's never had a top 10 finish here. His best finish at this track, 11th. Gives up the 2nd spot to head for pit road with 71 laps complete, and now 72 in the books. Ralph.
Well, lap 72 is exactly what they expected to pit Dale Earnhardt Jr., and that's what they're doing. He's had a very good run today. In fact, at the halfway point, he said, boys, write this down. It's halfway, and we're top 10. He's just happy to be in contention here this afternoon. The crew goes over the wall. They go to work on the right side of the car. We're expecting 4 tires of fuel. No major changes to the car. Junior very happy with the setup on this Budweiser number 8. Service is done, and here goes Junior.
And you can see the trouble he has getting out of his pit stall. Off of pit road. There's your race leader, Tony Stewart. Robbie Gordon has now inherited 2nd after Junior pitted. Stewart is just coming through, heading for turn 10 and 11. See the information on the Pepsi Pit Command. And more on Tony from Ralph.
Bill, this is a really good time to watch the lap times on Tony Stewart, because as soon as he took over the lead, the crew said, Tony, give us 6 of the hardest laps you got in you. He says the car's doing pretty good. He's not feeling any major problems in any particular part of the handling of the car. Where he needs it the most, Wally, is in forward bite.
Yeah, I think everybody's been complaining about that a little bit, Ralph, this weekend. It seems like, ooh.
What was that?
Yeah, he got on the brakes and the car started to get sideways, but recovered. And don't forget, he's pushing this car probably as hard as he can right now.
And it's just little things like that that come back and bite you on a road course. Nice catch. Martin Truex Jr. is on pit road. Ralph?
Here comes Martin down pit lane. This is chassis 057. It's a brand new chassis for Martin Truex. His service complete. He is back underway. No major changes to this car as well.
Whoa, a little trouble there.
Man. That was unusual. Here's Robbie Gordon on pit road. Gives up second place. He's got a long trip down pit road. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out because these guys are going to have to catch the field now. And the other guys that stopped earlier are going to be hoping for a caution. Coming your way, Matt.
Bill, it seems like it's been all or nothing at Infineon for Robbie Gordon over the past few years. He hasn't led the last 3 races and back on track today. Now, Gordon just came on the radio when they told him to pit next time by. He says, "Are you sure? Is that not too early?" Gene Neat simply said, "Look, just trust us." Remember one thing, Robbie Gordon earlier in the race, he said he had about a half a second left in the car. He was just riding, just pacing himself. He needs a good solid stop now so he can make up what he lost on the racetrack, and he is away. Solid stop by these 7 guys.
Good job, guys. All clear.
On board with Robbie as he gets back up to speed. And now Tony Stewart gives up the race lead and heads for his pit stall.
Stop you short because the 48's coming in around you. We're going to stop you a little short, okay? 4 need water. 4, you got it.
Headed your way, Ralph.
This should be the last pit stop for Tony Stewart. He slides in. Now they're planning on working on that forward bite. You can see they put the bar in to make an adjustment to the track bar. They're going to go a half round down on that track bar. Outside of that, it's going to be fuel and tires. And they think they should be in a pretty good position with their car. And off goes Tony Stewart. Just in front of him, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. I asked Chad Canals, will this be your last stop? He still wasn't sure. Service is done. The low Chevy is underway.
And here comes Jeff Gordon challenging Jamie McMurray for the lead. Gordon started 41st. McMurray started on the pole. Matt Kenseth has gone around. This is not Matt's favorite place. Road course racing is not exactly his style. Gordon in second behind McMurray. They head for 11. Kevin Harvick in third. Then Montoya runs fourth. Kyle Busch fifth.
This time, pit, fuel only.
That was on the 24 radio.
That's fuel only, Larry.
Yeah, I know what they're doing, Wally. I knew when they put it to lap 68, they could not make it with that 24 car to the end. So the reason he elected to bring the pit road into that caution with 42 to go was to put the tires on. This way on the green, they'll spend just a little bit of time there, just topping it off with fuel. That's a good move, knowing they couldn't make it from lap 68.
Those guys have a long way to go on fuel that stopped under the caution. Marty, how about Harvick?
Well, Bill, conventional wisdom in the garage area this morning said the RCR cars were getting some of the best fuel mileage yesterday in practice. That may prove true today in the race as well. Kevin Harvick pitted on lap 67. I just asked Todd Barrier, how close are you on fuel? He said it's too close to call if it goes green. If we get any caution at all, we're good to go to the end.
Here comes Gordon. Gives up second place. And we heard this would be fuel only.
36 when you get around to the line there.
Here comes Lindsay.
This ain't gonna take long. This ain't gonna take long right here. Come on down.
Bill, just like you said, their whole key right now is simply track position, fuel mileage, staying out there, gas only. Jeff Gordon feels really good about his car. We'll see how far he can get.
These road course races, there are so many cards in the deck. It's just amazing how they play out. Larry, you got a few cards you want to play?
Well, what I just wanted you to notice, they stopped for about 3 to 4 seconds. So by putting those tires on that last caution, they saved themselves about 8 to 9 seconds under this green flag run.
So now Harvick runs second, behind McMurray, and Montoya to third. Joe Nemechek. Not the first time he's been in trouble today. The frustration of a driver on the road course at Sonoma. Jamie McMurray is the race leader, but we've got a long way to go.